How's it going, Internet Land? Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, here with another Transformers First Party review. This is, today I'm going to be reviewing the Transformers Kingdom Cyclonus. And, I really want to say that this guy, honestly and realistically speaking, is a Studio Series figure. It's clearly the same sort of design intention that the Studio Series figures have. And it's clearly from the 1986 movie, but I legitimately 100% feel that that their lineup for the Studio Series waves were full, and so they threw this guy into the Kingdom line. And so I would definitely say that this is a Studio Series figure that made it into the Kingdom line, much as I feel that the Kingdom Warpath is an Earthrise figure that made it into the Kingdom line. So, but yeah, this figure, I am going to go out on a limb here and say that for a Hasbro figure, this is what I would consider basically perfect. This figure is astounding. The engineering is great. The color is great. The paint is pretty good for the most part. There's a couple little weird places like where like this and this don't really line up because this is painted and this is something else and it's a weird color. But that's a really minimal thing. Like it's not even so bad that it's glaring. It's just you notice it because this is actually purple plastic. But, you know, the face sculpt on this guy is good. The light piping, as much as I dislike light piping, I think that it's pretty good light piping. Like, even with this not even kind of behind him, like, it's got a not insubstantial amount of light piping just sitting here. Certainly if you stick him near a window or something like that, he's just going to glow like nobody's business. His detailing just looks good. His transformation is amazing. And, like, there's been a few figures recently that I've just been like, wow, you know, Hasbro is killing it. And, this is definitely one of those figures that I feel that they killed it with. But let's go in for a deeper dive here. In terms of accessories, he comes with one accessory. It is a gun molded in purple plastic and painted silver. The sculpting on it's decent. It looks pretty good. Got a little divot here for his big ol' Popeye arm to fit around it. And looks good, works good. I like the way this figure looks. He doesn't have any kind of a backpack. He doesn't have just like a big old massive pile of stuff hanging off here. And don't get me wrong, I guess it's something about Cyclonus' design. You know, because the Generation Cyclonus was a pretty smooth figure as well. And actually, hold that thought. I've got one standing around here. There he is, the old Generations one, which I have kept this figure for all these years because I think it is an astounding, like, A+ figure. But honestly, this new one really kind of puts it to shame. Some of the proportions on this guy are kind of ridiculous. He's got this really huge shoulders and really skinny, like, legs and thighs and whatnot, noodly arms. He kind of looks like a weird Mega Man X figure in that regard. But, you know, I think that this new guy blows him away. And of course, absolutely, this is like a bajillion times better than the Combiner Wars one that they gave us, which was just awful. But anyhow, let's get into his articulation. His head is on a ball joint, and the ball joint is on a hinge, so he can actually look down quite a bit, look up quite a bit. Of course, full rotation on that ball joint and a little bit of wibbly wobbly there. Arm goes all the way around, comes out. He's got this cool little detail in here. I always like it when the figures do stuff like this. Something to kind of hide the fact that that's an articulation gap. He's got a bicep swivel, single jointed elbow for, we'll give it just barely over 90 degrees of articulation. Waist joint works well. Hip joint goes that far forward, that far back, goes out for the full Van Damme. Thigh swivel. Knee joint is technically double jointed. This is the only thing that I don't particularly care for. I feel like it's possible that they could have done something to make this better. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure that they could have actually, with the way this is done. And I mean, given this figure as a whole, I mean, like, getting upset about this little finger-sized gap here is, it's more of a nitpick than anything else, especially since if you ignore this transformation hinge here, it actually keeps it covered up fairly well, and you still get like almost as much articulation as you would have gotten out of without using that. It's not an actual articulation joint, but double joint. So, I mean, if you use this knee as it's intended, you don't even really notice it that much. If you do pull that out, well, of course it's all right there, but you know, that's you using it in ways that it was not intended. So I'm actually going to say that I would not consider that to be a concern, a big concern at all, because it's not meant to be used in a concerning way. Of course, you have the option of doing that, but it's not meant to be done that way. So we'll give it to them. He's got forward tilt on that ankle, no rotation on it, and a decent amount of tilt. At least enough to bring this foot in line with his little ankle armor. And so if he had any more tilt, it would be wasted. So it's just a good looking figure, and it's like decently posable, and has got just that he looks just like he came off the screen, and he really is good. I saw one guy who was really digging deep. He's like, the cockpit is like this on this figure. It's supposed to be like this. And I was like, wow, that's really, like, if you have to dig that deep to come up with a complaint, like, that's really a testament to how good this figure is. This figure is easily one of the best figures Hasbro's put out in recent years, I think. Let's get him transformed up. Oh, this is so good. I love it. So let's start with the legs. We are going to pop open this panel here, fold this in, bring that out, and fold that away. Again with the other one, fold that out, fold that away. The legs are going to fold down on themselves using that hole and that transformation joint, not technically a secondary knee joint. Boom. Squeeze those together just a little bit. We're going to pull these out, just disconnect them from the torso there. Pull them out on this little double joint here. And this whole thing is going to, basically what we're going to end up doing is splitting this forward and back, leaving this little section here. And this little section here is going to come around, and then it's going to split. And then this little tab, this little section is going to come out, and that's going to split. And then this little section comes out. And you really kind of need a pointy thing to do it. But you know, I've actually found that the tip of his gun works decently well. Decently well. Decently well. And then you just kind of take this and straighten that and close that up, and straighten that and close that up, and straighten that and close that up. And then you take this section here, fold that around. You'll want to bend this down ever so slightly so that these tabs will fit into that slot. And then you take his arm here, fold that out, rotate the fist around, close that, bring this out on its little double hinge. That will tab into there. This will come into place, and that will tab in to there. Second arm is just like the first arm. You bring that into place. Bring his arm around, open that up, flip that, close it, bring his wing out on this double joint. Bring that out, tab that in, and there is his alt mode. And oh my gosh, like this is an alt mode that a third-party figure would be proud of. Like, this is really, really good. Like, I look at this and I'm like, you know, it's not necessarily a masterpiece aesthetic or design, but I mean, this is as good as the other Cyclonuses that I've reviewed on the channel. In terms of aesthetics, like it's not as thin as the Fans Toys Cyclonus, but it's not as chunky as the KFC Cyclonus. It's this really good, like really good happy medium between them. Because as much as I liked the slim aesthetic on the Fans Toys one, I felt that it was technically too slim to really be screen accurate. And the other one I felt was too fat to be screen accurate. And this just nails it. It's just a really, really good figure. I really like it. You can take this and tab it in here. That's really the most effective way to tab it on. The only other ports are right here under the wings. And you can do either one of those if you want to. There are ports back here, but that's not going to tab into there because the wing gets in the way. He's got some landing gears. Just pull those out, save my nails. There and there. So he can land. And these wheels are just single piece of plastic, no paint or rolling wheels on them, but they work fine. I don't know that he ever actually lands in the show, so it's just there as a formality for those of us who want to display it in its alt mode. One thing that I am surprised about is, like, he's got, of course, like all figures these days, he's got that little peg to put a flight stand on him, but it's not really easy to get to in this mode. Let me see if I can get him on a flight stand, just for shits and giggles. Pull these out, split these legs apart. I'll take that and plug that in there just to see if this will work. Squeeze that together. It seems to be working. Yeah, we can get him on a stand. A little bit ish. Not a whole lot that I can do with him on the stand, but he'll sit there. So that's cool. I'll take it. And I'm literally gonna have to open them all up to get this off the stand. But anyhow, that's Cyclonus. He comes with a huge recommend from me. I legitimately say, if you like Transformers, and if you like the movie, and if you like Cyclonus even a little bit, like, this is definitely the figure for you. And Gosh, the clear plastic details on this guy is pretty good too. Though all of his other clear plastic details seem to be kind of orangey, but his eyes are definitely very red. Makes me wonder if it's a trick of how thick that clear plastic part is, or if they kind of put like a little spot of red paint on that. I don't know. But anyhow, thanks for watching. You guys are fantastic. And everybody stay awesome and be good to each other. See ya.